Okay, so continuing with the current shot, I did a little bit of ink work last night on the laptop. And so we got this guy in motion. And now I'm going to demonstrate how we can separate a drawing out into pieces in order to save ourselves some animation grief, I guess you might say. What I'm going to do is, we've got the ink and paint all on a single layer, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select his eye, because basically I want to redo his eye. So I'm going to go Control X, Control V. Okay. So as you can see, what that did was it put the eye on a separate layer. Okay, so we'll go Ninja 5 eye. Okay. And now we'll simply fill that, and obviously the shadow situation is important. Okay, let's leave the yeah, we'll call this Ninja 5 pencil test. Okay, so what did that actually do for me? What happened here is that now we get this additional layer, Ninja 5i, and as you can see, we can extend the keyframe over here so that if we look at the ink and paint, actually these two keys can be deleted at this point. Okay, we're still going to use the pencil test as a guide. Let's turn that on for a moment, and we can see there's definitely some animation right here, but it's all happening if you look at the pencil test, it's all happening in the eyes. Okay, now there is a little squash and stretch happening in his face in general, and we'll address that, but basically what we want to do is just go ahead and animate the eye. Okay, so this needs to be labeled properly. We'll call this Ninja 5 SHD, which is kind of my standard shortcut for can't talk and draw at the same time, shadows. Okay. Okay, so there's the pencil test. We'll turn the opacity of it way down so it's just serving as a guide. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the ink color from our ninja friend, and we're going to go, whoa. Okay, and I don't want to move his pupil situation too much. We definitely want to really exaggerate this. And then we'll, he's still surprised here, but it settles down. So okay, so now the one thing I want to do is I want to modify this. I don't like that. Okay, yeah, actually I'm going to do that here too. Okay, that works pretty well. Now, let's sample this, which is probably pure white. It looks like it is. And now let's actually, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in behind mode. I'm just going to hand paint this. And probably in many circumstances I would fill it, do a fill operation. But I'm getting warmed up. Like, I only just started a little bit ago, so I'm just gonna kind of let my take this opportunity to warm up my brush hand. Warm up my brush hand, baby. Okay, go back to, grab that, and now I should be able to just scribble it in because we're in behind mode. Back to normal mode, and we do want to put a specular. Okay, and so now let's go ahead and hit Control Insert so that the shadow layer, we just made 2 copies of the shadow layer. Okay, so the only thing we're really going to change, I'm going to make my, actually let's use this brush. This is my normal go-to brush for shadows. Okay, and let's also turn the pencil test off. Okay. Whoopsie poo. And this needs to be black, not white. You silly goose. Okay, let's go back 1. Okay, that's fine. And erase this. Definitely want that in there. Little bit of shadowing over top of the eye, little bit of shadowing underneath the eye. I don't think I want to add the wrinkle component there. Okay. Okay, so now what we need to do, well, let's just see how this plays first of all. Whoops. Okay. I think that a little bit of what you're about to see would be appropriate here. I'm just using the transform tool in liquify mode. Okay. And I'm going to pop this back here. See that? So I'm just adding this secondary animation in his body with the liquify tool. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Okay. Now the question becomes, do we want to bake in the eye? This is what I'm thinking. Both yes and no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer so that I still have the eye in a separate layer, but then I'm going to hit Control E and bake this one down. So now I've baked the eyes into the ninja. That way I can move his whole body as a unit in a second. But at any time, I can come back and grab that eye and reuse it. And that's something I find myself doing like all the time in Krita. Okay, so now we're going to look at what the animation here is supposed to be. Basically, there's a mid position, there's a clunk position, there's a bounce back position, and then there's the beginning to relax position. Okay, so now for this guy, let's hit the A key, and we're not going to do liquify mode. We're just going to, I think we're going to just kind of make like that. Okay, now here I am going to use some liquify. Okay, I'm going to do that. And I don't know how well this is going to work, and obviously it'd probably be smart to turn off the shadows layer right now because it's really a distraction. But let's just give this a crack. What I want to do is grab this, make this about the size of his head, and then do rotate mode. Oops. Okay, sorry. I forgot that when you switch tools, it goes back, it remembers the size previously. So I'm going to go like this. I like that. Boom. And then here, maybe just a little bit of that, but then go back to a standard free transform angle it a little bit and say, let's put him there. Okay, that should be pretty close. Obviously, we're saving Zen's hands till the last minute. Now, as far as the shadow goes, let's just see if we can do this with a transformation. Yeah, it's crazy. That's not going to work. So let's just hit insert, 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 and then maybe this one. Oh, I was going to say, could be repeated. This positioning is not correct. Let's go back here. And yeah, he should be about here now. Okay. And now on this shot, in the original, I'm looking at my edit. Yeah, okay. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just grab this. So we're not going to use that other eye that I talked about. What I'm going to do is just actually, let's not do that. Let's do a better job on our selection. Let's select just the iris. We can always paint in anything that we missed. Okay, because what I want to do is basically make him cross-eyed. Okay, and now we can go back to the B key, make sure nothing's selected, sample that, and just paint this in. Again, we'll worry about our shadows later, because this is what, when he starts falling, this is what his expression is supposed to be. Now, I would say we probably could do something like this as well for this guy. So let's just go ahead and let's see. I actually don't like that. Surprising myself a bit here. I like the concept, but I think I overdid it. So let's just kind of go like that. And then we'll let the shadow carry most of that darkness under the eye situation, as opposed to, yeah, that's better. Okay, so now another question that comes to mind is, what about his other eye? Should we kind of sort of paint in some indication? And I'm thinking, why the heck not? Hello? Okay, undo, undo. I think that'll work. Okay, except, what about that? Do we want to do that? That's the question. I think so. I think we could be a little more liberal with the showing the whites of his eyes too. Like so. I don't know. This is one of those things that you're just like kind of trying things and seeing what works. Okay. Let's see what we have. Whoops. Boom. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then what we see is I'm actually coming over here and counting my timing. Boom, and then they settle. Okay, and I have to put in his eyes right there on the when their heads get cracked. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, literally 2 seconds actually. Because what really happens is the camera pans over and it's really all about what is Akari doing in terms of her reaction. So that's fine. So I want to get this. Quick presto changeo here. Let's try it two ways. Let's try this. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Let's do it the way we did it in the original. I like that better. Yeah, that's definitely better. Okay, so we should see a little indication here. And I'm just going to put that little hint in there. Okay, hit rewind. Let's see what we have. Boom. Okay, I don't like this. Yeah, for me, this really should still be. Let's just paint that out. I think. Yes, there we go. That's it. Boom. Okay. I like it more mucho. Save that. So, the cool thing is, it's fun. What we're doing here is fun. It's fun to just kind of microscopically, bit by bit, piece this thing together. Little bit of this, a little bit of that, and just make it work. Okay, so let's go to the shadow layer. And let's make sure we're in the shadow layer. Like so. And yeah, here's the issue. So we want to grab our shadow brush. Let's turn the pencil test back off. I got really lucky. I'm actually going to do an every 3-minute autosave. And go ahead and reopen Krita. I don't know if I need to reopen Krita, but I'm going to just be safe. Okay, so what just happened was I was really sure I lost almost all the work I'd done today because I don't remember ever hitting Control Save. But apparently at key moments I was hitting Control Save. Control S. Who knew? But just to be safe, I just altered my situation so that Krita now auto saves every 3 minutes. The only reason I haven't had a more aggressive autosave turned on is because there's been times in the past where maybe it was because of the size of the Krita file, but whenever autosave would kick in, it was kind of an intrusive thing that would happen. It would be like, it would sort of interrupt the workflow. I don't think, I mean, I would say if your file size is, you know, probably less than a gigabyte actually, you're probably okay with having autosave fairly frequently. So let's just keep rolling with it. What we need to do is grab the shadow layer. As you can see, we already have our keys in there, so I'm going to just grab my shadow brush. Yeah, I think I just must be hitting Control S like really frequently and not realizing it. It's become a habit, which is great. I mean, that's what you want to do. So cool. Okay, so now let's jump back and just kind of see. Yeah, it's pretty loosey-goosey, but I just want to get these key indications in there. That looks pretty good. Am I missing anything? A little bit right there. And I haven't dealt with under his eyes. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we need to go to our highlights, which are going to be boom, boom. Kind of like that. So, as you guys know, I don't really do the onion skinning thing too much, not very often. Usually the only time I actually use onion skins is when I'm doing, like using the free transform tool and I just need to sort of calculate an in-between position. That's pretty much the only time I use onion skins lately. So, happy to report that I really thought I was hosed a minute ago. And it turned out I wasn't, so. So let's just keep rocking. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Gotta have that. A little bit around the ear, a little bit tucking in there, a little bit here. I really like just kind of keeping it loose if I can, because frankly, it's just the more quick and loose and visceral it is, usually the better it turns out, with the exception of if I'm being so loose that I'm allowing my drawing to be compromised. Like I'm allowing myself to do crappy drawings because I'm hurrying. And that's not what I'm talking about. But if my drawing's pretty much on its game, doing what I'm doing here, where you just really, like I said, keep it loose, keep it fast, seems to deliver better results. Okay, so I'm going to come back and catch the highlights here in a bit. But we'll get all the shadows in first. See, one thing I can do, if I screw up the shadow, I can always hit the erase button and just chisel back into it like that. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Boom, 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 bop. Okay, got that little kiss right there. Got that one right there. Okay, and we do need to have the shadowing under his eyes. Okay, let's go to highlights. Okay, in this case, we are going to have this highlight here. So let's just go ahead and get all those in there. Okay. And frankly, this is pretty sloppy. Well, this is the one where I think it looked right and then I stretched it, so. Oops. Okay, there we go. That's better. That seemed a little aggressive to me. I like this little bit of bite back into it like that. Okay. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's do it the same way. Oh, except it's not supposed to be a rotation, it's supposed to be a stretch. I actually think that'll probably work. Shadow. So the question really now is, what about the highlights? So, B key, sorry, E key, in other words, we're turning the dad blasted eraser off. Okay. Okay, we got a couple lines missing here that I want to make sure are in there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. I didn't like that one. Okay. Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. I assume, yeah, this one here. Well, it's subtle, but, well, that one seemed a little bit aggressive to me. Mm-hmm. Okay, rewind. Let's check it out. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, one question is, right here, do we want to get really radical? And if we're going to do it, let's do it right here. And go. Let's just go ahead and take it to extremes and just see how it feels. I like it. And we can pretty easily erase it back out if we want to, because none of it's on the Ninja 5's layer, and none of it's overlapping anybody else, so it'd be easy to erase them if, you know, Val looks at that and says, oh, I don't like it. Which could happen. Save. Okay, and by the way, I have not noticed the autosave functionality, so I assume it's been happening in the background, and I haven't noticed it, which is good. That means it's not intrusive at all. So, okay, so that's good. Obviously, we're going to have to get Zen's hands back in there. And so, boom. This is where Zen's hands would be. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to actually leave the hands in shadow. So this whole concept that I had before of having him come into view, so to speak, I've decided that's not what we're going to do. We're going to leave it in this gray form. That's what we're going to do. So if I hit insert here, sorry, specifically control insert. Okay, so that should, okay, so now what I need to do is get rid of that key there so that the hands appear here. And then what we need to do is just do transformations here. So what we're going to do is grab a selection, hit the A key, just pop that over there, come over here, grab this selection, same thing. Okay, Krita, don't be snapping. I don't need your snapping going on. Okay. And let's just see. Okay, just to be safe, since we can't really see where the hand is, let's just go like this. Let's just do it like that. We'll make it real subtle. And I'm going to just kind of go like that. Now, again, okay, same thing here. Let's just grab it. Obviously, we can't see the hands, but we can go like that. Okay, and then what I want to do here is just actually take the hands off completely and see if that's objectionable. Now, if we get rid of Ninja 5, which we're about to do for sure. Get rid of Ninja 4. Go to Zen. And this is what we need to address right now. Okay. So the question here is simply this. If the ninjas fell out of the way, so you couldn't see them anymore, what would we see in Zen's silhouette? So that's what we want to do. We want to do it fairly accurately. Okay. I don't like that. Okay. Yeah, so this pose is kind of important because it is what we're going to see once the ninjas fall out of frame. Okay. Let's save that. Turn these guys back on. Okay. So now that's happening pretty fast, so the detail on the hands doesn't matter that much. The eye copy obviously needs to be taken out of there. Oops, sorry. Oh, come on, Krita. Jeez. Okay, actually what we should do... Here's what we should do. Boom. Right here. Okay, and I'm being careful here not to overlap him with Akari. Just because this layer is in front, so I'm going to have to do this the cheese ball way. It's really, this is kind of where, I don't know, maybe I should have actually put this in the Zen layer. That's okay, we'll fudge it along like so. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's add a layer. And then let's take this key and see if we can do this. Come back here and add a key. So now it's got animation data. And let's take this key and put it up here. Okay. Now if I solo this layer, why don't I see it? Okay, so that apparently doesn't work. Okay, that didn't work. So let's take that off. And then let's duplicate the layer. Okay, you'll see in a moment here why I'm doing this. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the copy, we're going to delete all the keyframes. And in the original, we're going to keep everything except the last key. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so now what we can do is we can take Zen's hands and actually put them down here below everybody. Below Akari, below Ninja 4. Yeah, I'll put it there. And that way, once these guys are all gone out of the shot, we can actually just animate these hands down, which I like that idea quite a bit. And let's do it on 3s. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to solo this. I'm not going to solo this layer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Zen in a group, and I'm going to solo this. Okay. So here, okay, I'm on copy of Zen's hands. There's the key. So all I want to do is get these muscular forearms. That's it. I just want to get the forearms. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, kind of ending at the elbow. Okay, so unsolo that. Now what we should be able to do is, by the way, here in the original Zen's hands, oh yes, we need to insert a key so that effectively the hands get deleted. Okay? Cool beans. Now what we're going to do is go down to the copy. Actually, let's not do that. Let's deal with these guys' animation out of frame. Okay. So at this point, I feel I can bake down the shadow. Okay, that's a bold choice. But I really need the ninja. And by the way, we can get rid of his pencil test. We can get rid of his extra eye. And we can actually merge the group. Okay, this is again one of those cases where baking it down may be something we regret, but let's find out. I think that's working fine. Okay, so now we can actually just call this Ninja 5 N5 and save our work. So now what we've got to do is we actually have to delay 2 whole seconds. So once Zen lets go of these guys, you got a 2-second delay. So 72 plus 24 is 96. Okay, that's 1 second. Plus 24 would be 120. So we're going to go to 120. And we're going to insert a key for Ninja 5. And we're going to insert a key. Oops, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. We're going to hit Control Insert, so we're making a duplicate. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, I should be able to put him here. Ninja 5 can be behind Akari. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can take these 2 guys and put them in a group. Okay. Now I'm going to file, save, just to be safe here. So look at what I'm going to do here. Okay. By having these guys in a group, we can turn on pass-through. And because these 2 layers already have animation data on them, if I were to take these 2 guys and animate them, why is Krita telling me this is an empty layer? Why do I feel like Krita's about to blow up? Okay. Probably what I should do here is file, save as. I'm just going to add mod. I'm going to start hitting undo like there's no tomorrow. Yes. We'll go to there, rewind. Let's make sure things are working. Okay. File. Okay, save as. And I know this is a stupid file name. It's because I started doing it on the laptop originally. Okay. Now, this is what's bothering me. Ninja 4. Okay. That's interesting. So it says it's an empty layer. And by the way, I do notice this crap right here. I don't know. I'll get around to it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my previous decision, which is to put these guys in a group. File, save. Okay, and let's call this ninjas. And then again, importantly, we want that to be having pass through. What that lets us do is we can go to, we were going to start at frame 120. So I'm going to go to 160. I'm going to put my start point at 120. Okay. So what that does is it gives us this situation right here. And then here's our loop area. 120 through 160. Okay, so what we were going to do is here on the ninjas, we should be able to grab the two of them on frame 120. And indeed, because there is in fact a drawing on Ninja 4's layer, Krita is no longer erroneously reporting that there's nothing in that layer. So now I'm just going to move this a little bit. And now I'm referring back to Blender, and let me see what the pacing was on this. There's one little thing I can see that's a little problematic. Right about there. Okay. So, yeah, right there. Okay, so we can fix that quite easily. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the Zen layer. There's Zen. And what I'm going to do is right here, actually strike that. Right here, I'm going to set a key. I'm going to duplicate that drawing. I'm also going to duplicate it here. But what I'm going to do in this one drawing right here, is I'm going to erase these arms out of there. Just going to erase them out of there. Okay, that was probably a little too much. Something like that. Okay. Okay. So now, obviously, we got to erase everything down here. Hello? Okay, I think that works. Boom. Okay, now what I'm going to do, just because it's fun, is I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to call it bubbles. And what I'm going to do is go to frame 0, insert a key, and then we're going to whip all the way up to here. And let's just start here. Okay, insert a key, and now we need an effects brush. Seems like this is probably what we're after, and I'm going to go with kind of a purple-ish color. Okay, it's not really showing up very well, is it? Okay. So now alright, the only thing I would say is let's take the whole kit and caboodle and move it up a few frames. Three more. 3 more frames. Yeah. Cool beans. Now, one more thing I'll try. Let's make this gray. Let's try this. This is kind of an effect a la Charles Schultz, really. Alright, so hit insert. Oops. Get rid of that one. Okay. Now we want to zoom way in here and go between these keys. No, that's no good. Let's see how that feels. Okay, if it makes you laugh, you know something's probably good about it. Okay, do we need it on the other ninjas? The question. I would say probably not, since his eyes are completely. Okay, let's do this. Let's cheat. Let's take this. Let's make a copy of it. Okay. Let's take it and just set it back a few frames, and then let's add a transform mask so that we can take this whole thing and just drag it over here to this guy. So it's offset a little in both space and time. Nope, that doesn't quite work. That's better. Okay. So let's flatten the layer and see if it screwed it up. It did not. It looks like it didn't. Okay, which is kind of unusual. A lot of times Krita will definitely booger things up on you. Okay, so I'm going to just put these 3 layers in a group and call them FX. Okay? No problema. What time is it? 12:18. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's add a layer way up top. Let's solo it, and then let's make it a really dark background. Not quite black, but almost black. Okay, and then let's just take this layer and suck it all the way down to the bottom. I just want to have some kind of background to gauge how the shot's coming together. So yeah. So the thing that's missing at this point, obviously we've got this noise right here going on that's should not be there. Looks like we need to do a little erasing on the ninja's layers. But right now, this is all about Akari's acting. Akari's supposed to turn her head, so that still needs to be animated. But as far as the overall execution, the overall look of it, timing, characterization, I would say we're in good shape. So I think I'm going to stop there. And thought I was going to finish it on this session, but this has been a long session. I've had to break this up into several videos, and I'm going to have to do a little editing. in post. So with that in mind, actually let's do this one thing. Let's grab this. Let's do this. And then what I'm going to do is add a layer above, and let's just do it this way. This looks insane, I know. You're like, what the heck are you doing? Okay. Now filter, blur, lens blur. And I want a really aggressive lens blur here. Let's do octagons. And yes, look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, the only thing I'm thinking is, I think I want to flip this. And as usual, Krita screwed up. Won't let me flip it. Maybe if I do it this way. Okay, that's fine. Fine, Krita. The stuff that's outside of the canvas area isn't being properly defocused. So fine, fine, fine. Okay, Control E to wrap that down. And I actually think I may in fact use this for the real background for this shot, actually. So all we really need to do is get Akari's acting in there and then do a few cleanup operations. And then we'll have to bring it all into Blender in order to do the 3D camera move. So now, before I quit, let's see. First of all, let's just start going through here and figuring out where the garbage is. Okay. So I believe, okay, the ninjas are a group, and as you can see, indeed, this line disappears. So now which ninja is it? It's this one. Okay, so we need to go in here and look at what we need to erase. I guess I'll just keep this brush for now. And now let's just go through his keys and just erase that stupid anomaly that's causing us trouble. Okay, yeah, so apparently that was in the original sketch. So that takes care of Ninja 5, but what about... Okay, I see. What about this little blackness right here? Okay, that's in Akari's layer, okay. Which is kind of sad. Kind of sad. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo that layer. We're still in eraser mode. And we're going to go through, and I think, yep, there it is. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Cool. That was not difficult. Okay. And so now, this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. And yeah, I was in solo mode there, so. What do we have there? Oh, that's in the effects layer. Let's go into the effects. Yep, right there. Let's erase, and we are still in erase mode. And just go through the keys. Yeah, so we've got definitely some anomalies holding over, and you know what? That's okay. Doesn't matter. What we do need to do here, let's see, this is going to disappear. And the bubbles, do the bubbles ever disappear? It looks to me like they do not. So we need to go here and insert a key to effectively get rid of the bubbles. And we're still seeing a little bit. What is this? Is that in the bubbles layer? It is not. Is it here? Okay, sorry, I didn't really want to create an extra key for that. It's in the effects layer. Aha, here it is. Cool. Got it. Got it. Get it, got it good. Okay, I see one other thing that bugged me a little bit with Zen. And it was when he steps up there, right about there. It looks to me like the sketch layer might still be turned on. Okay, this, I'm still keeping that one around. Okay. Yes, right here. Okay. I see what's going on. So I've clicked on the Zen layer, and that looks like I need to grab this brush, go into erase mode, and just go through here and do some judicious fixing up. And this is because I kind of made the strategic error of putting the ink and paint in the same layer with the pencil test, which is usually not well advised, and in this case we see that indeed it was not well advised, but the world keeps on turning, right? So now I'm going to just paint back into this. Next. Just keep going here. So again, I'm going to just, okay, right there. I think the autosave just happened. I think that's what I just sensed psychically in the background. Okay. Well, sometimes you just got to hone in. I think this is kind of the way I look at this. If this shot had been done as it was done originally in OpenTunes, the level of detail that I'm employing here, I know for a fact I would not have employed. Okay, I see an effects problem. Yep, right here. I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to try erasing. Yeah, that did the trick. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've actually cleaned up all the various bits of mishmash that don't belong. Yeah, I saw one more thing right there. Right there. Do not compromise. Do not compromise. Okay, I'm in the Zen layer. little bit there. Yeah, it's like it flies by really fast, but I just keep like seeing things where I'm going, well, what did I just see? And you scan back through it and realize you did see something wacky. That looks really good. So now what we need to do is we need to get Akari's acting in there. And then we need to bring it into Blender to do a 3D camera move. And then I'd say the shot is done. So with that, I will say there will be more later.